more just like an execute map, right? It's like getting control of A ramp and executing A site, or it's, you know, maybe getting a brief mid control and then coming up B stairs and executing that site. It's a lot of set pieces. And then retaking can be quite difficult sometimes, particularly on that A bomb side, I feel like. So it's definitely a different type of CS to watch when you watch Vertigo.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are done with the knife. Going to be North starting over on the T side. Endpoint, meanwhile, on CT side, having a look at the grenades. Endpoint did take the knife, and so it's going to be a case of double nades, flash, and smoke on Endpoint. North coming through with Molotov, double smokes, and double flashes. Just a quick time check there, Dust. 147. Is that right for you as well?
Yep, we're about on the same pace.
Cool. Sounds good. So let's
Nice.
get into this then. North, aggressive, up on the ramps. They're not going to be charging in just yet, but they're getting a lot of information. They're getting a lot of real estate for their troubles already. Going to be jumping up with MSL on top of the sandbags. Molotovs now being tossed out towards the sandbag over on the ramp side and systematically locking this down. Now, one of the areas of Vertigo that makes it a bit of a nightmare on the T side of things is it's very fast rotations and fast flanks. So it's all well and good getting up ramp, but you've got to do something with it.
Yeah, it's just CTs are going to be funneled, though, one direction, essentially, unless they can get that flank off. They all have to come to this one choke point that Gade is staring at right now with that smoke still bloom. So CTs still have to wait. Luckily, it's pistol, so CT utility is going to be limited, so they could be able to press through, and they are starting to get a couple of kills.
Yeah, kills coming through. Looking good for Endpoint post-plant. Gade going to be hiding on the corner alongside MSL. Trying to rip out with his the Glock, pardon me. And the bomb is being defused. I don't think there's much hope of him really getting this clutch under his wraps. And, well, it's been defused. He goes down without getting any kills for his troubles. So, I mean, North, they were in good position there. They got an early plant. You were thinking, okay, this should be a fairly convincing, clear-cut win. And then Endpoint just come through with some crazy kills, mainly from Surreal.
Yeah, it's one of those things where normally that site's really hard to retake because T's can usually just stagger utility on that one choke point, and then you're forced to either push through it or that you just get starved out. So this round, though, obviously there's no utility there because it's a pistol, and so they can kind of just wait that one smoke out and then just kind of work together. And it just comes down to trade fragging at that point, and Endpoint were the more efficient team, and so they are going to get the victory. But it is that classic economy, Vince. With that bomb plant, you see full Galil's out right now for North, and so they actually have a very potent buy going into this. There are some M4s out for Endpoint, but a couple are on SMGs, and they've actually done a lot of chip damage already to North as well, so it's going to help them out a lot.
Yeah, the chip is solid. It's a good buy from North. But two smokes, the only utility that they currently possess. Thomas perched up on the box, waiting, anticipating a push from ramp. Nothing coming through just yet. Crucial in the meanwhile is trying to make his presence over on the side. Thomas spraying with the M4A1S. Going to be Molotoving out as well. Crucial still on that smoke. Has been found by Gade. Molotov tossed in. Going to be able to stall the bomb plant for a little bit longer. But the kill's now going the way of Gade. He's got himself two. Cajun B now going to be locking down the bomb plant. A 4-on-2 retake falls upon Endpoint. And after winning the pistol, they're completely on the back foot. And they're already moving out as though they're going to look to save, at least from Crucial. From Surreal, pardon me. Thomas now going to be joining that call.
Not much you can really do in this situation in a 2-on-4 with Thomas already down so low and no kit in play. Not sure if there's one down the site somewhere they could have grabbed, but either way, it's just that slow pressure from North, kind of that boa constrictor, just kind of slowly clamping down that A bomb site. They had the smokes up. I think the big X factor in this round was that boost from Gade on top the site box, catching a couple of players off guard. I mean, one of those main retake points for the CTs is getting by that double stack box that you see Kirby staring at there. But Gade really shut that down immediately, and that really slowed down the progression of any retake attempt from Endpoint. And so North, again, kind of using that T economy to their advantage off the bomb plants, getting almost superior firepower man for man in that, and then being able to take advantage of it. And now they will tie the game up.
Yep, 1-to-1. Bit of a nightmare scenario for Endpoint. It's always the brutality of winning the second round and then instantly going down, or pardon me, the pistol then instantly going down. Is the economy just gets reset so hard. At least they're able to save those two M4s, though. So it does give them something to play with.
Yeah, and they have a couple of deagles as well, sprinkled around. In fact, all three players that don't have a rifle do have a deagle. They have a couple of HE grenades to go for some type of nade stack play, perhaps. And they do have at least the one kit on Thomas, so it does give them some outs, but certainly they're going to be on the back foot.
Here come the big plays, potentially, from North. They need to be careful they don't run into this stack of players, though. To be fair, they haven't fully bit and committed to this fast rush on A. It is strange on Vertigo. It feels like the vast majority of rounds does always feel like they end on A. Like, the amount of times you see B hits is so rare.
Usually late. Or some type of eco play. Every now and then you'll see a B set piece come in when you want to change the pace. But yeah, A does seem to be, and this the target and ramp control seems to be one of the biggest factors of this map. And some aggression from Mighty Max and Thomas actually do that a kill. AZ at least able to quickly trade it back. Kind of limits the bleeding a bit. And now they're just kind of slowing back down. They still have plenty of utility for a full site execute. MSL actually does have control of this short catwalk. So they're going to just go ahead and press forward on the A site. Again, same kind of strat as last round.
Yeah, nothing too complicated. Just a case of North feeling like we can get the trades, we can just straight up win through brutal force. Crucial tries to navigate his way through the smokes. He's not able to connect any shots just yet. Kirby using the advantage now that the smokes are starting to deplete. Going to be reimbursed with more nades coming down. Thomas and MSL both trade in. The HP is starting to dwindle on both sides, though. They're going to line up for AZ. He's spraying him down, but here comes Robin. And he's going to clean up the final kill of the round. An Endpoint. Answer the call. They return the favor.
And that was really chaotic. I mean, North looked like they were steering this ship right to where they wanted it to be throughout the bulk of that round. I mean, they had that initial even trade on the ramp. They were able to get into the site, use their utility, get the bomb plant, have that post plant 4-on-4. They were getting even a couple of kills on that main rotation. It's just a couple of key kills came in from Endpoint. You know, they were able to just kind of starve out North, so to speak, just kind of clamp in from multiple directions and eventually get what they needed. So that was a brilliant effort. North still able to buy back, though. AKs across the board except for Gade, who's going to be on just the Deagle. Make sure you get a couple of pieces of utility and head armor.
Oh, MSL with the first of the rounds. What North will be hoping is the first of many. Can they bounce back again? MSL and AZ both tagged up. And it does surprise me to a degree that Endpoint aren't stacking more players on A, especially right off the bat, assuming that it is going to be another A-side hit. Thomas, good spray control on Crucial. Chipped in for a frag, so they only needed 2. 3v4, looking pretty rough for the Danes.
Yeah, very big play there. This is kind of a different play from Endpoint, actually aggressing that catwalk, putting the pressure on ramp, not giving North that space for free. They've used utility in the past a little bit now. That's when they faced them with full weapons, and they won the majority of the fights. They have the 4-on-3. North forced to reroute here over to the B bomb site. Kirby able to get up on this initial choke point, but Robin and Surreal do have a bit of a crossfire set up. Robin even has a smoke to stall them out even longer, and time's already ticking down pretty low here, so North do need to get a groove on as Surreal moves up to that up-close position that sometimes doesn't get checked, so he might be a real problem, but thinks better of it as that smoke starts to fade away. Kirby just covering their flank. They're looking to attack the site, though. That's for certain.
Okay, that's a big kill. As you said, time becoming a bit of an issue, becoming a concern. Robin, in the meanwhile, though, having to stay behind the smoke. There's Molotovs being tossed in as well. He's going to reposition, waiting for Crucial to join him, who may be perched up, going through sandbags on the jump. It really comes down to him because Robin has been held at bay. Crucial comes in. Now the HP quickly goes in favor of Endpoint. And it's the Dane and the Swede that are going to try and clutch this one for their teammates. Kirby straight up with the AK-47. Crucial trying to push his way in, trying to get up close. Gets the spray down and connects the dots. I think I called him a Dane. My mistake. He is Dutch. Please don't hate me, Holland. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even Nordic. Like, you've really messed that one up. Like, you've really thrown a spanner in the works there. But it's okay. It's all fine. At least you corrected it. North unable to correct this round, though, right? They had that initial stoppage. They tried to spin it around. They did get a couple of key kills, and they got the bomb down. But Crucial winds up with a 4K before it's all said and done. Majority of his kills this entire map so far have been on that round, so a very critical moment for him. And now North onto just a pistol buy at this point, trying to splurge their way into the bomb site as quickly as they can.
Yeah, quick certainly operative word here. But it's going to be a quick demise, it seems. Surreal with 3, and Thomas is going to chip in with the M4A1S. MSL caught in middle. And more good news for Endpoint. They steamroll to a 4-1 lead, and This being North's choice of map, sure, it's still early days, Dust, but they've done such a good job of keeping the Danes at bay.
Yeah, this is a definitely a different story. When they played each other in Anaheim, Vertigo was the pick of Endpoint actually that time around, and North really just shut them down. You know, North had free reign basically on their T side in the second half of that game. They really dominated it, but so far they're off to a slow start here. See if they can change things up now that they're back onto a bye. It's going to lack an AWP, and they do have one Galil in play, so it's not full strength, but certainly pretty close. Galil's definitely been upgraded in, I guess, the recent past.
How have those HEs done basically nothing to North? I have no idea, and there's going to be a fast play up from Gate, but he's going to get no kills. That looked like he had Crucial dead to rights. Mighty Max with an MP9 just running around the corner, spraying down two. They've done such a good job again of forcing North to respect them on A.
Exactly. These A-ramp interactions are really starting to favor Endpoint now. It's forcing North to be in man disadvantage situations. They've been forced to reroute to B even at times. This time, they're not giving up, and they are going to catch a player in the sandbags. Big kill there from MSL to even the odds back up here. He's making his way up short, catches Thomas on the boost position, and that means the tides have completely turned. Now it's North in the driver's seat. They have complete control of the A site. Robin forces to sit back in elevators and buy time for a rotation. Now they're going to have to try to play for the retake. They do both have kits. That gives them some ways back in, but it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, certainly going to be a difficult ask from Endpoint. Bomb going down now. HE bouncing off the wall, doing damage. There's the spray. Surreal. Going to be able to at least keep the odds even. Health actually favoring Endpoint for the time being. Here comes the smoke. Kirby using it to dart around the edge. Good flashbang tossed in. Here's Kirby and a shaky aim with one kill, but no second to follow it up. MSL still has a Molotov. He can bank that off the wall. Is he going to throw the Molotov out now? No, it's a flashbang instead. But Surreal is a step ahead of him. MSL just backs away instantly, though. This is where the dry peak may come in. Surreal sticking the site. MSL needs to get on there. And just gets in there in time. North with their second round.
It was a labored one, though, Vincent, if we're honest. In fact, a lot of these rounds have been coming down to the wire. A lot of 2-on-2, 1v1 post-plant type situations. Endpoint certainly was dominating those just moments ago, but finally North are going to punch one in. Still is some money, though, here for Endpoint to spend, including an AWP for Crucial. Haven't seen too many AWPs so far on this map. And to be fair, they're not really necessary. There's a lot of close quarters battles on this map. It's definitely one of the more compact maps in the pool. And so hopping, again, isn't really a necessity, but we will see it out this time, at least for the defense.
Curious to see what gets mixed up, if anything. North timeout. Galil's included in the mix. And yeah, I should mention, I think you're watching the other games, so you probably already realized this, but we are, of course, on the live patch, so we are seeing much less. SG's picked up. Not too surprising.
I love it.
Yep.
You know what I don't love, though?
Bisons.
The Deagle, though.
Oh, the Deagle, yeah. That'll do it. We haven't seen any crazy jumping deeks today, though, I will say that.
So we'll call it the Kaylee patch. If we want to give it a little of a nickname. Hopefully that was just them messing up with our trying to fix like the falling accuracy problem, which was a problem. I think they just kind of fixed that problem, but in the midst of it created another one, but hopefully it'll get sorted out. This round's not going to get sorted out for North, though, I'll tell you that. 2-on-5 real early.
Yep, after the timeout as well. Kirby with the entry, not expecting Robin up close with the MP9. And so they have been swatted away. Cajun B gets Molotov'd out, can't really do much about this. He doesn't want to alert them to his presence, so he can't even afford one tick of that Molotov to come through. That's why I waited. And now a second player has been sent across to bolster up the defense. Cajun B does claim onto Robin. Smokes across. Could afford a bomb plant. At the very least, is going to keep the economy ticking forward, and it's not in great shape for the Danes. So that's a welcome reprieve. Any more kills on top of this would be a nice juicy bonus, and it's not looking good. Thomas is already coming up from the backside. A quick flank, a quick rotation. And Cajun B did spot him, but Thomas's aim was too good.
Not a whole lot that North can do in that round. They just took such an early fall, and they just couldn't really recover from it. So it is going to be Endpoint really building a solid lead here. They're starting to toy with the economy in North even. It's fairly limited, so they probably have to just go for kind of a mixed buy in this situation.
Yeah, it seems like North are just out of sorts here, Dust. Like, no real stability. Never really looked like they were going to take a vast lead in this game. Another aggressive play up on A. Crucial spoilt for choice. So many players bobbing and weaving their way up ramp. And an easy kill in the end. Thomas has been put down, but Crucial continues to turn up the pressure and turn up the heat. And it proves too hot to handle. And now MSL's AK-47 is really the only pathway to maybe pull out something in this round. Cajun B, 1 HP to his name, but puts the P250 down range and claims onto Surreal. And they're going to quickly wrap their way towards the B side. They still have options, of course, such is the case in Vertigo. So many rotations can come in because it's so close, the spawns to both sides. MSL still making inroads, making moves. As Mighty Max watching from the back of the site. Up in the room, goes for the peek. Gets the drop onto MSL. Able to turn tail and run. Cajun B looking for the plant. He should be able to get this one through. 1 HP still to his name. 3 players to find. 3 players to frag potentially. They're going to be boosting up. Crucial and Mighty Max making some noise. You can see Cajun B's position already compromised, and Robin decides to perforate the smoke, and he will reap the rewards. Endpoint with another CT round, already 6-2 lead.
These rounds for North have been on an island. They won the second round off of that initial buy because they got a first-round bomb plant, and they had kind of the superior firepower even. We know how that economic situation works right now in CSGO. They've had one other gun round, and that's really been about it. To be fair, we've had a lot of close rounds. That certainly could be said. We've had a lot of situations where it was, close numbers in the late round, but Endpoint have really started to actually win these rounds more dominantly lately, and it's starting to get a little bit scary for North here. They at least still have a full buy thanks to that bomb plant in the previous rounds, so AKs across the board. Pretty good utility as well. They've got to figure out something here soon, Vince, because they've been really bullied on the A ramps lately. They haven't been able to get a lot of map control. This time, KGB trying to go for mid early. He does get it, so maybe this can give them something different to work with.
Yeah, I was actually about to highlight it. Middle control has been pretty much absent from North, so maybe that is something they can start to push in. At least keep the Endpoint members honest with their fast rotations through that area. We saw Crucial already jump up on the sandbags on the jump when they were trying to push the B side and get some success. AZ's been wrecked down to 17 though very early on. It just seems like North can't buy any luck right now. Even when they do try different things, they're just getting smacked back straight away.
It's really been tough on them. At least this time they have full mid control. And they do still have 5 players left standing. They have taken significant damage along the way. AZ being the weakest one. And now Robin, actually in the perfect position to catch that little flanking maneuver they were actually trying to make in towards CT spawn. Thomas as well getting a piece, but it's still an even 3-on-3 when it's all said and done. It's been a very weird round, but North starting to steer the ship correctly. They get a couple of big kills, and now they do have the edge.
Another post plant. And Crucial gets sideswiped by MSL. That's more like it from North. So they do win the round, take us to a 6-3. Economy's not looking great overall for Endpoint. Mighty Max down to 1,400. And off the back of that, and with Crucial able to buy an AWP, they are going to force. This doesn't leave them much room for error, though, Endpoint. If they concede this round, you expect to see North maybe get onto a bit of a spree. So here we go. North pushing their way up onto the ramp. Smokes have been deployed. There's a couple of gaps in those smokes, though. You can see that North are trying to do their best to thread the eye of the needle. Cajun B dispatches of Robin. Crucial going to go for the peak. Had the right idea, just slightly off on the shot. Nearly does connect. That would have been huge for Endpoint if he could have got that done. And you can understand why Mighty Max has gone in for an aggressive play there, just with the P250. It's completely backfired, though.
I see North getting a little bit of rhythm going here. They have a 5-on-3 as they're approaching this A site. Crucial in position, though, with that AWP. Might be able to catch one here, particularly MSL, who was trying to come up that catwalk area, but Utility will force Crucial back. Trying to see if he can take some pot shots to the smoke, but they're not going to connect. And in fact, this might cause him to go ahead and try to save. The real catching Kirby, who was trying to watch any type of flanks coming from B position that allows him to upgrade for an AK to save over. So that's nice. So they are at least keeping some guns in play into the next round, but they can't really buy much around them with the economy the rest of the players have. So it's going to be kind of just on those 3 guns and maybe some upgraded pistols. And North are starting to finally get into a little bit of a groove now, Vince. They've won a couple of rounds in a row. They're going to push this to 6-4, and if they can keep it up, they could actually make a contest out of this half, and what was looking like a pretty dominant performance from Endpoint.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt. Those save weapons, though, as you highlighted, with a deagle in the hands of Thomas and Surreal, they can both drop those across, so we can get a decent buy again for the EU squad. But yeah, I mean, North definitely have started to pick up the pace here. They're starting to make Endpoint sweat a little bit more, getting a lot of success from those middle plays. Whether that continues or not is an entirely different question altogether. Do they just go back to hitting A time and time again, maybe? Doesn't look like it. They're actually occupying up for potential B hits. Now, this is into the hands of Surreal, who hears all those footsteps, decides to back away, wants to stay alive. The call will come through. Rotation's going to be imminent. How many kills can Surreal pick up? None is the answer. Thomas is the only player that gets a kill with his MP9. There's so much damage has been inflicted across the north, but it's not going to be good enough to yield the round more than likely. And they're in another save situation with the AWP. So a bit of a mistake, I suppose, from Endpoint. Well, I don't even want to say mistake, to be fair, because I don't think Surreal had too many chances with the AK. He tried his best. It didn't quite work out.
North really in a great recovery at this point. This will be their 3rd round in a row. Really make something out of this half. Make it competitive. One of those maps where I'm still not 100% certain how it's sided. I mean, it feels like if T's can actually get control of the site, retake is very difficult, especially if you're winning those exchanges on A ramps. You're actually getting into A site, which, again, and you noted, it's kind of the favorite site. And if you can really maintain that, then it's really hard on CTs. But if CTs can get aggressive on A ramps and kind of shut that area down, and because the rotations can be so fast, definitely there's opportunities for CTs as well to go on a little bit of a spree. So it feels like I've seen T sides be more successful than not, but again, it's a little bit tough to know.
Yeah, I definitely echo that sentiment. I think it's pretty even. It depends on the teams that are playing, I suppose. There's no doubt that either team is capable of racking up a whole bunch of rounds. Here come the nades, right onto ramp. They have mixed it up north. They've gone back to their A hits that yielded quite a few rounds to kick things off, and then Endpoint figured out the best way back. But they are coming up against an Endpoint that have a solid buy behind them. So North may be about to walk into the blender. Walk into an absolute grind fest here. Flashbang is good. Going to be followed up by a kill from AZ. Mighty Max is sent sprawling. Crucial going to hold the line. There's a good Molotov placed down on side. That's going to allow him to focus his attention on towards the ramp area. But now Cajun B shows his hand in middle. And again, because of the way that Vertigo often ebbs and flows, there's so much time left for North. They don't have to fully invest behind this. They don't have to fully commit behind it. They could always just pull the plug and go back towards the B side.
Right, that had that luxury now with the 4-on-3. KGB catching a crucial kill inside a middle to get them that advantage, cutting off a rotation. Maybe the CTs were going to be looking to make, and that means that threat of backstabbing is there, and don't have to worry about that. But Crucial makes the play he needs to. He knows he needs to go for something. He does get the pick, and Thomas follows up, and they get it back even.
Back to equality. 30 seconds now. MSL, another smoke deployed onto the site. Thomas still perched up on the boxes. Gonna be found, but not killed. And it seems like the ebb and flow is now gonna favor Endpoint. Bomb successfully planted. Cajun B gets peeked, and Thomas has had a hell of a round there. 3 big, impactful kills. And the win streak comes to an abrupt end.
Yeah, Thomas is one of those guys that you know, definitely looks like one of the more skilled players on this team. He's had kind of a crazy rise when he was playing with some of the guys who are now playing over at that Smash team, I believe it is. That have played a couple of different teams, like, you know, Devil Walk as the coach, and a couple of those players like Stickgo and stuff. He kind of played around those teams, and now he's found a home here after kind of standing in. I mean, I know he stood in at, what was it, Rotterdam? I think he stood in for like the local team. And he's finally found a little bit more of a permanent home, I guess you could say, over here at Endpoint, and definitely can be a big playmaker. Gotta give your props, though, to Crucial with that AWP. Him taking that peak on ramps to kind of even it back up was such a ballsy play, but it was the one that was needed, and he made it work.
No, you're dead on. It was Hysterian at DreamHack Rotterdam, the Dutch UK team. I think it was Luzzer was in there as well. So we saw him there back in the tail end of last year. Mighty Max, ooh, Gade really saving AZ's life. The bodyguard plays. Mighty Max could be frustrated at that outcome. Thomas now, once again, looking good for some kills. He only gets the one, and AZ quickly trades two. So this time around, Endpoint coming out second best with the trades. The Danes looking incredibly strong. Robin and Surreal left standing. It's unlikely they're going to be able to do too much to muster a defense against this four-man lineup now from North. Again, so much time left. They're not fully committing here. They're trying to draw out all the grenades from Endpoint before they do decide to pull the plug. Potentially and go back to B. Or, of course, just fully commit to the A side. The economy as it stands, I'm surprised that Endpoint aren't just clumping together. And it's like a gamble stack. If they push into you and you have two rifles, there's a chance you just outright win the round, I should say. And if you guess wrong, you can just save both those guns. Now Surreal's going to join in with Robin. Now they're going to try and hold the line together. They've done a really solid job so far, but Surreal's gone down. Robin now is the last man standing, and Kirby gets the better of him. But such a valiant attempt from Endpoint. It doesn't work out, but they do take 4 players with them.
They take 4 players. Unfortunately, it's at that point kind of late in the half where you're not going to gain as many economic benefits from getting close. You know, they say that close only comes in horseshoes and hand grenades, but in economy systems, it can really help you out, but it would have had to have been earlier in the half. North still have plenty of money to buy these last couple of rounds, regardless of taking that many casualties. It maybe limits a little bit of their utility, and if they ever want an AWP, but they've never gone for it. I don't think I've seen an AWP a single time on the T side from North. It would be MSL who normally takes it, but he's been pretty much just confident with rifles. And again, this map really plays to 5 rifle setups, I feel like, with all the close quarters battles and how compact the whole map is overall. So finally, Endpoint, though, fitting in another successful round, but it comes right back with a response from North. So it's going tit for tat at this point as we start getting into the final couple of rounds of the half. And again, I still am not really quite sure who's got the edge in this one. I mean, it feels like the momentum certainly has shifted. I mean, Endpoint were dominating up 6-2 at one point, and now it's seen a few rounds in a row from North, and then a trade of rounds, and the CT economy is in a really bad place. They basically have to save for the last round of the half, so it gives North that chance to actually take the lead before it's all said and done and we transition sides, despite the fact they started so far behind. So if you want to go on morale, maybe North is kind of a step ahead, but still a very close scoreline, and so still really can't gauge where this is going.
No, I think it's...
Actually, the fragging is also tight. I mean, look at the two teams. I mean, obviously you have like Crucial and Thomas kind of up there with 12, but everyone else is within just a few kills of each other on all 10 players in the server. So don't see that too often. No one's like really, you know, anchoring or being a burden, but no one's really carrying either.
Oh, that's definitely a fair point to make. Could maybe get skewed if one of these North players gets in amongst him. A cat amongst the pigeons, perhaps. Just P250s and a Desert Eagle. No armor, no grenades to supplement it. Not fully going all in, though.
AZ kind of taking point. It's kind of a new role for AZ, by the way, you're going to see across the map. He's kind of taken up that entry position with Gade. He used to be kind of a peripheral role player. They've kind of moved Kirby back into positions like that. So it's a bit of a role swap that North has had with MSL making his return. And that was obviously an easier entry for AZ, right? Just a pistol. But still, that helps his confidence, I'm sure, as his bomb does get planted.
Let's go now. AZ now. Going to be chipping in for a few more kills, a bit more damage. Crucial. Deagle, I believe that was through the smoke. Onto AZ. MSL will avenge his fallen teammate, but not onto the man that took him down. Although they're both so low on HP. 2 and 4. Surreal has been cold, as will Crucial. We're tied up at 7 apiece. As you did say before, though, Dust, it is kind of a hard map to gauge which way it kind of favors in terms of CT or T. So I mean, even the score line, like everything is in the balance as far as I'm concerned. This is such a difficult game to call.
Yeah, it really is. I feel like at this point you kind of already have a good feel of, who was looking pretty to win the map, and at this point I couldn't tell you who's going to take it. I feel like the odds are super even at this point, as we've noted, but let's a little bit change of pace for North. They're going really fast B on a full rifle round. Unfortunately, Surreal is up close and prepared for it for 2, and oh my, that lineup is mega unfortunate for North.
Yeah, it's always the gamble when you just rush a site like that. I mean, sure, I can appreciate that North tried something different. I can appreciate that they tried to mix it up, but Surreal just lays down the law, drops the hammer on them. Beautiful 4K. So Endpoint at least will lead going through to the second half, but you can see there, even a bunch of the rounds that they won were defuses. 6 of their 8 rounds were defuses. That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, again, we talked about how throughout the game we had a lot of rounds that were coming down to 2v2s, even 1v1s, and so it's been a very scrappy game, that's for sure. I mean, no one had more than 3 rounds in a row, so no one really, just dominated a big portion of the half. It was at times even, 1-for-1 when it came to exchanging rounds, particularly in the very beginning of the game and towards the very end of the half. So, yeah, again, just all signs point to a tight race, and eventually someone has to turn into a front runner. This pistol round could maybe help set that up.
Let's have a look then. This could have a huge bearing as to which of these 2 teams comes out triumphant here on Vertigo. Train up next. And then if we need it, we're heading to Dust 2. Kirby and AZ actually wrapping around the back, especially from AZ. Getting into the back line of the T's, but he's missed his chance. He's been dinked instantly. Down to 16 HP. Cajun B, though, does come out swinging with a frag. Gate gonna pick up the slack, pick up the mantle. Does get the kill, but it's labored. Thomas and Crucial now come back in with kills of their own. Gade whiffs a whole bunch of bullets. MSL's tapping the bomb, and the Kirby is going to try and smoke his IGL into potential success and outforce the Kirby. These headshots are crisp, they're clean. And does he actually get the clutch after all? 3 bullets remaining. Surreal goes into the smoke. Kirby gets the kill with the last bullet in the mag. And there's enough time for the defuse, albeit very close. But he's going to get the job done.
Oh my goodness, man. It looked like that was going to be in the bag for Endpoint. They had good control of the site. They had the numbers. They were taking care of business. And then Kirby said, nah, I'm going to be taking this one. 1v3 clutch to even the score. Back up 8 apiece. Couldn't come at a better time there from Kirby. Really clean play. Played it so intelligently. There you have it. Tie game.
Definitely going to expunge some of the potential pressure that North may have felt. We're seeing a PP Bison picked up, and it's going to be AZ, the man that is wielding it, that has been tagged down early. Cajun B double tapping Crucial. That is as slick as you could ask for. Leaves the scene of the crime.
We're going to see Robin trying to go for a bit of a boost here on top of the box, which could create a little bit of an angle that maybe a North player wouldn't expect if they were actually actively peeking middle. And indeed, one does step out with the buys. It's going to be AZ. He's going to find the frag, and Kirby also pitching in, just leaving now 1 player left. It's Mighty Max with the Glock and the bomb. And, well, if we're honest, really no hope, is it, Vince?
Yeah, you feel like it's only a matter of time before his cheeks get busted here.
Reasonable. Given the big Herc special as they're banging him through the walls and through his dome. He's gone. Not so mighty anymore.
No, certainly not. Cruzy is mortal after all, but North, hot off the back of picking up that very comfortable round, of course, as you expect, it's going to be having to deal with Endpoint's full purchase, full AK-47s, so many grenades to play with, their first test on the CT side with 4 rifles. Let's see if North are up to the task. They still have a PP Bison and 3 FAMASs. They're actually coming out second best in terms of raw firepower. They're taking up the mantle, spraying down on the ramp from scaffolding, and it's worked out well for them. AZ decides to get really aggressive, and he's culled by Thomas. And so it comes to a bit of a standstill.
I'm going to need you to call it just the Bison and not the PP Bison, because I'm too immature to handle that.
You're too immature to handle the PP?
Yeah. If you could just pull that out. Go up Bison. Really appreciate it. For the better of the broadcast, to be fair. You know, but
Well,
you're a free man. You can do whatever you want. It was just a request.
we don't have to worry about it anyway. It is the
gone,
button
yeah.
that's dropped. Yeah, the thing of the past.
I'm actually surprised to see it being used. I know it got like an armor penetration buff, but still, like, I think the UMP would be better. But the Bison has more bullets and a faster fire rate, so I don't know.
Maybe the players just trying to test it out as well, and test the waters. The live kind of setting. MSL though has been plucked out from behind. It's Thomas with the AK-47 that leaves Gade FAMAS in hand. 3 players up against him, and they're all healthy. Actually, there's no freebies here. There's the first, gets it cleanly. Gonna decide to change up his angles of aggression, but Thomas actually burns him. Lands the headshot, or at least a lot of damage towards his body, and he burns alive. 9-9 now.
It truly is even at this point. Both economies are very fragile, though, now at this point. So whoever takes this victory would be in prime position to get maybe even a 2-round lead. So this could be a big swing round. All things considered, we do see some aggression here from North over towards the A ramp. Smoke is going to be down. AZ turning up close. Teammate with them, just trying to fit some bullets through the smoke. Not really hitting too much damage, but there are a few players on Endpoint who have suffered some bumps and bruises. Wow, they went in. Okay. I don't know about that one.
Well, it's big moves from Crucial. And now Gade is the only player that has any utility to speak of for North. MSL will be peeking. AK should come out ahead in that trade. MSL decides to just pull the plug. He's down to 8 HP. At least he's still alive, though. At least they can try and set up a crossfire. They may feel compelled and desperate to try a play out here to try and get them back into this round. And Cajun B is the man for the job. Executing Crucial, pulls back to the site. Takes a little bit of damage, and now a ton of damage through the wooden panels. Not ideal.
No, he is bleeding out. He's got holes everywhere. They need to be plugged up. He's got a nice little position, though. This is actually the perfect position to play this type of health. To just be in this uncanny spot. Maybe no one's going to pay attention to. He springs out, but only good for one, and his teammates were not able to really shore up with their reinforcements. And so it is going to be another round going the way of Endpoint. And now it's that economy that we were talking about, where North is not going to really have a whole lot to spend, and this is where Endpoint can finally grab a big lead. It really just started with this push from North that, to be honest, is kind of questionable when your economy is in that poor of a position and the score is so close. It doesn't seem like you need to go for big plays like that, especially on a full buy round. Maybe you do that on like an eco, but it was a very costly one for them.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised to see that MSL didn't play that position a bit longer and maybe wait for the bomb to start getting planted. You have a stack on ramp. AZ, the player that gets the final bullet in the dome, but it is pretty much a clean sweep afterwards. There's a bit of damage to Robin, but goes the way we were expecting.
Yep, money will be back for North, though, so we should see a buy up from them, and will be, I think, kind of determining the flow of the rest of the half. You know, if North can fight right back at the 10, you know, Endpoint's economy still isn't necessarily booming on all of their players. I think Thomas had to get dropped in AK. So there would still be a path to recovery for North if they can go ahead and win right back here and now. And they probably know that that's possible. They've kept at least the numbers close to some of these round losses. But if Endpoint can take it, you have North kind of on that buy-save rotation, which is obviously even more bitter if you're a CT with the more expensive weapons. So that could really give Endpoint big control of the game and maybe a path just to go ahead and finally take a victory. So this is a big one. Still never an op in play for North. They have yet to go to that. Of course, the money wasn't really there this time around.
Yeah, proving to be a bit of a concern now.
I
mean,
I have a question for you, Vince, actually.
Go on.
I see Kirby with the Silence Call. I know it got a price buff. What do you think of that?
I think Robin just destroyed Cajun B and AZ.
He did. That is true.
Them for A1S, I think it's situational still. I don't think that many players will prioritize it over the M4A4 because they didn't get any changes to the actual gun itself, right? In terms
just
of
like
stats.
what, a $200 difference now?
Yeah, which
one flash.
Yeah, it's not enough for me to justify saying you'd always prioritize A1S. I think it's more situational depending on the economy. And plus the overall change as well, remember, so that might be something that's a little bit more popular coming up. Looks like North are doing a good job in this round, but I say that and instantly 2 kills go the way of Endpoint. Mighty Max and Robin both chip in with frags. Kirby, 18 HP. That's all he has left. Now, you can hear the footsteps, the pitter-patter of footsteps from Endpoint heading towards the B side. He has the right call, but, I mean, there's no room for error here. 1 bullet and he's dead. Molotov's going to stop the push. He also... Did he take a tag from that? It sounded like he may have.
I heard it tick, but his health didn't change. I don't
Yeah, that's why I saw it as well. They definitely took a tick that time. He's on 18, now he's 12. And that noise, that sound cue was the thing I was more interested in because it allows Endpoint to know exactly where he is.
That is very true. So he will just have to say this M4 again. Money is going to be in a really, really bad place for North going to the next round. So this might be the one weapon they actually get to put to use if he's actually able to hold on to it. But obviously there are some T's giving chase. They do have the money to go for this push. One actually walks right by Kirby, though, so Kirby's still alive for now. But there's a T right in front of him, and now all of a sudden he's in a lot of trouble. Saving this M4 is going to become quite the heist. He's able to actually do it. Oh, does actually get surreal, and indeed he will carry it over, so fair enough. This was the round-breaking moment right there, though, wasn't it? It was pretty much all she wrote after that.
Yeah, huge passage of play, and North couldn't really recover after that. And considering that they're now 12-9 behind with a poor economy, this is looking like it may very well go the way of Endpoint. And this is the choice of North. So, I mean, this would be quite the surprise for me.
Yeah, it's like reverse deja vu from Anaheim. I mean, it was basically the same scenario with who picked... Or I think Endpoint picked it that time, actually, at Anaheim. But either way, it's going to be maybe the reverse scoreline unless North can figure something out. You would imagine this is probably not the round it'll happen. Kirby's going to have to be the one to prove me wrong. He's that one guy with the M4. There is a couple of Deagles and that CZ on AZ with armor. So there's a couple little things out there that could maybe pull one over on Endpoint. But certainly it would take a big effort. Gate at least able to push all the way down B stairs. It gives him a lot of information and allows the others to just focus on mid and A. So that does help out the cause as well for North.
Smokes from both teams being tossed in. MSL trying to use that as a bit of sanctuary. Going for that stack on A. Meanwhile, Gate trying to make moves behind. Trying to cut off the potential flank dead in its tracks. Thomas could be first point of contact. A very important round. The Endpoint get fairly cleanly. And Thomas gets splattered, as does Crucial. Frags going the way of the Danes. It's gone from bad to worse. It's a 1v1. Mighty Max has the HP advantage, and the timing doesn't favor Cajun. So close, yet so far.
Yeah, that timing was actually unreal in that 1v1. Just catching Cajun with a nade in his hand. Metaphorically pants down in that situation. It is going to cost him, but I have to say North actually put a valiant effort up front just for having only one M4. Unfortunately, it's getting to that point now where every round matters so much and close is just not good enough, but North will have a full buy, and finally, for the first time, I think, MSL has an AWP.
That is true. Absolutely. Didn't pick it up on the T side. They're a team that I don't think necessarily have to AWP. As we said, MSL is not exactly the most static of AWPers. He's
What
not
do
the
you
kind
mean?
of guy
He won the
pick it up.
MVP at DreamHack Masters Stockholm 2 years ago.
Which caught everyone by surprise.
Against Device. So, best opera in the world for my money.
I was there casting the finals when he did it, man, and I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was actually insane. But since then, he hasn't quite lived up to that sort of standard.
That's a fair assessment. Yeah. Had to give him a little credit.
No, I think he's a solid.
He's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, he's not the kind of person that you're going to prioritize AWPing. And to be fair, I think he knows his own limits. You know, I don't think he's under any false illusions that he's actually like a really super sick AWPer that can be one of the best in the world.
I don't know. You should hear him talk about it sometimes. Like, you gotta have that confidence, I suppose. But he's got the confidence to help pull this defense off. It's a big push into this B site, and he's already lost 2 members. It's all gonna be on him. It's a good first pick towards the right direction, but can they keep it up? Oof. Big flank maneuver from Robin.
I can't help but feel that's probably the map. I mean, looking at best case, a saved M4. No economy behind it. North 14-9 behind. Like, this has been brutal.
Savage, really. This is where you say they are getting wrecked, and you know, we keep the meme going, but you really left me hanging there.
The low-hanging fruit, man.
Yeah, but we were doing it in a different way. We weren't just saying each word. Like, we actually were building full sentences off of it. So it was kind of a little twist, but we've absolutely canned it.
Well, he does save the M4 at least. So, I mean, that's something, I guess. He could drop if they want to force behind this. It depends if they want to play for overtime, I guess. And I assume that's what the timeout is called for. To figure out, do they play overtime? Do they force here? Do they maybe just fend off?
That's so tough. I mean, they've lost, what, 6 rounds in a row? I think? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
So
that's
if
right.
you really think you can pull it all the way off for overtime, then yeah, maybe you go conservative here. But in reality, I think you got to play for every round, and so it is going to be the full buy. It was probably more about seeing what can we exactly afford as far as utility, making sure we get a couple of kits out there, and still buy just kind of to the max, get the most out of it. And this is about the best they could hope for. Mostly rifles, 1 SMG, plenty of utility, a couple of kits. This is it. Last chance saloon.
It's actually better buy than I was anticipating, mainly off the basis of that save. But they also obviously dipping down for less firepower to supplement more grenades, which is very important on Vertigo. There's so many choke points that can stop very aggressive rounds, as we've already seen multiple times here. But I mean, North have had much better buys than this, and they've just completely collapsed. So they have to make a believer out of me here, Dust. I'm not believing in them. I don't have trust just yet. They're gonna have to win me over.
You? Yeah, I mean, I can't blame you. I don't really have much faith either the way this half has played out so far. It's definitely a stark contrast to the dynamic of half one, where it seemed like a really close race. We've really seen Endpoint kind of break through. Even after losing the first couple rounds of the half, they really recovered nicely. Now they just got to put the finishing touches on this. Just dot the I's, cross the T's, and Vertigo will be yours. As they are slowly clearing up these A ramps, and counter utility is coming into play and doing a little bit of chip damage. Nothing severe, but certainly it's slowing Endpoint down, making them reconsider their options. MSL again playing this post position. Actually decides better of it, backs off.
Big kill from AZ though. Gonna keep that dream alive. 30 seconds to play with. Kirby moving upside. Using that smoke. MSL gonna dart in for another one. Double kills with the FAMAS and able to scamper away. Full HP. Kirby very unfortunate not to get the kill. Through the smoke, and he goes down to the hands of Thomas. But has the damage already been done? Because Thomas is the last man standing. 10 seconds to go. He needs to die before the end of time here, really. Or at least save, I suppose. It's either or. Might not be what he's hoping to do, but actually he does get another kill down, so that's going to really hurt North's economy. So fair play. Thomas has pulled off a really nice end to the round.
Yeah, and he got the AWP. I think that was the main reason why he was staying alive behind those sandbags. He wanted to see if he could have a chance to grab the AWP to bring it over, and he did accomplish that mission. So well done there for Endpoint. But now North has a bit of a lifeline. They won a big round. They have 4 rifles going into this one now. The big issue is if they lose this, they will actually have no money to fight for overtime. So the economic reset could still really hurt North. They'd have a decent buy, but it wouldn't be anywhere compared to what they have right now. So this is their chance to put their best foot forward if they want to actually make the comeback. Endpoint. Going to be aware of that. North want to take extra time to talk it over. Can't blame them. This is another really big round. If they can win this, they'll actually start putting pressure on Endpoint's economy, and either next round or the round or the next, they would actually have essentially a freebie. So if they can just get to that point, they could actually still keep this one rather close.
There's definitely avenues forward. It did seem like they were blockaded off beforehand, but they've managed to subside the sanctions that were put down on them. That grenade somehow does no damage. I assume it bounced off the sandbags. So it looked like it was dead on 3 players.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually quite surprised not to see some damage tick down on those players, but kind of a stalemate at A-ramps. You know, no one really takes any damage, but no one really gets what they wanted out of it either, as this control has been slowed down from Endpoint North. We're probably hoping for a frag or to gain some type of edge, but they've had to just kind of back off instead. And so now we're back to neutral as Mighty Max leads the way.
Either going full regulation or this could be over sooner rather than later. Crucial, lining up the smoke for A. Banks it off the wall towards the A site. MSL going to be smoked off. Gade does dip in with a kill just beforehand. Eviscerating Surreal. Flash through. MSL. His options are finite, but he does take down the AWP of Crucial. That's a big scalp to take. AZ now goes aggressively. Did he catch Thomas? He did, but Thomas fends out with an AK frag somehow, some way, and then Kirby decides to push. The timing was completely off, and North their own worst enemies. The lineup for Cajun B is good for 2, but Thomas does counteract 1 versus 1. The bomb planted in amongst the smoke. Gade biding his time, waiting for that smoke to clear, but Thomas is already out of there. Bomb planted for him, but Gade gets it dead to rights, and he's looking for an upgrade for his M4. I'm assuming he's going to go get the AWP, which is last seen up on the top side of ramp. Indeed, he'll pick that up for what I would assume would be MSL. And the defuse does come in. So 14-11.
Yeah, that was a really chaotic round. North feeling like they were forced to go for these push plays on A ramp after they lost the man advantage. And it was really just this saving play from Cajun B. A big clutch for him. I think he wound up 1v3ing that. Certainly he had 3 kills on the clutch. Either way. That's now like, what, 2 rounds this half North have won off of basically clutching either a 1v3 or really close to it. So I'm sure Endpoint are kind of kicking themselves a bit that they couldn't close out those rounds and already had this map over with, but they still are in control. Not too much pressure on them just yet.
Oh, Cajun so nearly had 2. Crucial. Very low, but it's Robin that dies in middle. A great passage to start things off on North. This will start to get a little bit scary now for Endpoint, but that's going to definitely alleviate some of the terror that was facing off against them. MSL does chip in with a kill. Surreal still alive with his deagle. Molotov put down. It's going to be extinguished. That affords them the luxury of the bomb plant. It is a 2v3. Now make that a 1v3. Surreal. 20 kills to his name. Can he add 3 more names to the list? There's 2. Looking for the 3rd, and so nearly connects the dots. But MSL blows his head off with the AWP. And that's going to be 14-12.
Big round from MSL at the AWP. That second headshot he hit was pretty ludicrous. I don't even know how he spotted it, but he did get the job done. It was certainly stressful at the very end when he was forced into the 1v1 there. Almost got clutched on by Surreal, but he was able to just hang on. This is a great attempt from Surreal. Tip your hat to him. He almost put this to map point for his team, but MSL does just hang on. And now this is kind of that freebie round I was talking about that would eventually happen. Endpoint just on a nade stack play and some upgraded pistols, a chance for North to get to 13. And if they can, that's when the pressure's on Endpoint. That's whenever the Heimlich maneuver needs to start getting the position.
There's MSL. Sliding through the smoke with 2. They're walking in one by one. He has the right idea. He knows they can be up on the scaffolding. And 3 kills to the IGL AWPer. Robin, last man standing. Not much he could do about all the bloodshed on ramp. But maybe the Swede can get some damage done against the Danes yet. It would be a timing play if he's able to do it, really. The peak's coming out. His position now compromised. No reason to fend. They didn't see the bomb under his control either. Down he goes. Another solid round for North.
So after a 6-round winning streak from Endpoint, they seem to be coasting towards victory. 1 round away from map point. North have had their resurgence. They've now won, I think, 4 in a row. And now they find themselves right on the heels of their opponents.
Yeah, this is where that tenacity, where that grit is going to get tested for Endpoint. Are you capable of weathering this pressure? Because it is mounting. North still have money in the bank as well if things go right. To try and fight for their survival here on Vertigo. That smoke is tantalizingly close for a potential peak from Crucial, but he decides better of it. He backs away. So MSL has the little gap through the sandbags to play off. Peeks in after the flashbang. No one home. Still hungrily waiting. And his hunger has been satiated for now. Molotov down. He's going to hold in position as well. He doesn't feel compelled to back away from this. Now, Greed may not be good in this situation, so he decides to change up his pace and change up his angle.
Oh my goodness.
Crunches them.
He's back to Stockholm mode, Vince.
Yeah. Stockholm Syndrome maybe for Endpoint right now.
Yeah. Although I don't know if they really are loving their holder.
Well, I mean, the way that they're getting wrecked, I think they probably do.
Gotta respect it at least.
Running into it, open arms.
By
Kill
the
me,
way,
daddy.
that's a banging song from Muse, by the way.
Why
I'm
have
gonna
I
go the
said
other
that?
route with Stockholm Syndrome. Not sure if you're a Muse fan, but Stockholm Syndrome is a banger.
It is. It is. Certainly a good song. Muscle Museum was always more my pace, though. I love that song, but whatever. Off the point a little bit. 14 to 14.
Plug in, baby.
Nice.
Yeah, I tried. Man, Endpoint's in rough shape. The upgraded pistols once more is all they have to put to use. In a tie game situation, giving North the chance for advantage, the chance to get to map point in their own right and actually reel this one back in.
Cajun with the Kirby shakes for a few moments, but does get in the kill. Crucial, 1 Deegan gate. Good grenades being tossed in to at least try and stall a push, but actually does very little to force Endpoint to bypass. Molotov is solid though, forces out Surreal into the open. Deagle on point. Mighty Max pushing him with the CZ, the last man standing. He's already depleted a couple of the bullets in the magazine, and down he goes, dead before his body will hit the ground. North, is this comeback actually possible? They now lead for the first time in what feels like forever.
Yep. I'm really surprised we haven't seen a timeout called by Endpoint. I feel like all the timeouts we've seen have been North. And Endpoint have taken no extra time to discuss things in what would be a very critical period, so bit surprising, but they do have the full buy, and maybe they just feel confident just to kind of forget everything and roll on. And we're no strangers to overtime, Vince, and you aren't today, so it could certainly be in the cards. But the way North have been playing, I'm not so sure Endpoint are going to be able to figure it out. Oh, that's unfortunate.
It is, especially as North have played this position many times now. We saw MSL have a lot of success with the AWP. Kirby previously has played this very position as well, so I'm a little bit confused at that decision, but whatever. Maybe they can still make it happen. 3 players destroyed off grenades, but the same could be said for North. MSL and AZ both feeling it.
MSL is actually re-aggressing this catwalk area, which could certainly get him some big information or even a backstab frag. He needs to make it happen soon because Crucial has already found another casualty. And did they see him or not? I think they did. Mighty Max is falling back, and MSL not able to hit that shot, and the pressure's really on now.
Oh, the shadow betrays Surreal, but Cajun Beast still misses. I was sure he had that kill dead to right. Surreal, in the meanwhile, going to go for the bomb plant now, and Gade seemingly not entirely sure as to where the bomb was going to be ending up. MSL timing on his side. Flashbang good. There's a second kill from MSL. He's on 32 kills. A 2v2 now falls upon us. And 10 HP for the IGL. As the Molotovs being put down on ramp. Smoke deployed to deal with them. It's all a fake, though. They're not sticking on the site. This draws out Surreal into the open. He's been found. He's been fragged. North so close to maybe clutching this round. They're going to get it done. In the dying embers of the round, they come back from a 14-9 deficit to win it 16-14 on their choice of Vertigo.
Man, that was quite the nail-biter of a game, really, and then it was just kind of further emphasized on that final round where, honestly, I'm not even sure how MSL got away with that. I feel like they had him pinned on that catwalk for so long, yet he's able to backtrack and kind of catch a player that just didn't seem to have any idea that he was still there, so it was kind of a wild situation.